We're good. All right, we're live. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. I think we're getting an audio issue. Real quick, 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Be right back. I'll switch this back for 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Cool. They have sound now. We have sound now. It'll take a second to kind of go back and forth, but it should. Okay. Now I'm getting. Audio's back. Super laggy. Yeah, sorry, it was working when we tested it, and now I don't understand why we have no audio. Oh, and I'm hearing myself. I'm like hearing you guys perfectly, and my tests it was all working. I'm trying to see what that could be. Yeah, let's just point people there. Cool.
And when Ashley and Chris Brown were saying we really need to look at Ryan Magfall potentially for doing this video, we look back at his work, seeing that he's always had that omni. Lost Fred.
No.
And stop. He gone. It just hit Fred.
And Fred's back.
When we're looking at Ryan's work, seeing the constant use of the woods, that's something we've always had. Where I thought it was something we first introduced on In Waves, but it's actually been since Ember to Inferno. Ember to Inferno had the woods scene in it, so we've always been really into that. We knew that, and we first spoke to Ryan and found out that Ryan was actually at our download show in 2005, that infamous one. Like 10:59, no one was there. We were all still hungover and tired. Just woke up 30 minutes late the night before, 30 minutes before the show. Our strings were out of tune. Our backdrop looked like crap. My voice sounded terrible. Walked on stage. 11 o'clock hit. End of everything started playing, and 40,000 people came running up the hill. Ryan was on the hill. So when we found that out, plus the woods thing, we're like, this is meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was good. I remember that morning. Actually, I can remember it being really cold and loads of mist, and yeah, it was a sick show.
So when I knew that stuff, that you've been with the band in some way or another since then, plus the woods thing, and really the way you do videos is so different. Like, I don't love the standard video. Like, you have never done the standard video, and even your live stuff you do with Slayer looks so different. It feels different. It feels more energetic. So it was like a perfect match to have Ryan with Trivium.
When did you start directing videos?
Well, so I started. Well, I graduated from film school about actually 2005. Then went to Downing, obviously. And then I was looking for a way, because the main aim has always been I want to be a feature film director, but I was aware that I didn't have the kind of links.
obviously I saw a lot of the music video stuff that was amazing, but like a lot of the film stuff, the more like short films and stuff was like just so appealing because I think, you know, we've definitely like we're always trying to perfect our sound and get things a certain way, but like of course like when it comes to videos and stuff, we are at the mercy of like the people we're working with and what they know how to do. And you know, it's like it's one thing to say like you want all these grand ideas, but it's another when you're like, you know, you have someone that knows the technical abilities. And I always kind of liken it to like, you know, it's one thing. It's like we know how to make music. We've been doing it so long, and it's like with videos, it's like you've been doing it so long that you just have that expertise with like, oh, I know how to like make that happen, or I can do something like the idea you've given me, but actually make it practical and work, or how it could fit together. Just as we kind of understand, like with a song, with like, you know, when it's melodies or chords, how things fit together, that like technical ability.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like music videos and this kind of stuff. For me, it's always about making something obviously as cinematic as possible. And you know, when you start out, you struggle to grasp that because you know you're finding your way through, and you're finding your way in your style and what you know a lot of filmmakers call their voice. I really think I've only just found that in the last couple years, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it's, for me, I kind of like switch between two modes. I've got my director mode where I want to do what I want to do in my own style, and then I have my producer's hat, I call it, which I say to my guys, like, guys and girls, like, the producer hat is on, and it's just like the realistic expectations. Can we do this? Can we pull it off? Like, what funds do we have? You know, what do the band want? And kind of mashing that into, you know, something that gives you a high success rate, which is what I want. You know, I want to give bands and I want to give people the stuff they want and make it as cool as possible. So
I was blown away that we're able to do a video, especially for Dead Men, that doesn't have us in it. And I love that so much because I've always talked about when we did in Waves, we wanted to do the opposites of everything of what bands do. And the opposite in our idea, the opposite of a live DVD would be a DVD with no crowd. The opposite of a video would be a video with no performance. The opposite, like normal documentary idea, would be no color. So we did that like no crowd DVD style for the Chapman thing, and then we always did videos where it was story for In Waves. I feel like we nailed it on In Waves, but for some reason we decided to go back to the performance thing. And I'm so happy that we returned with the opposite idea again. And to not have us at all in a story video, I thought was so great. And I didn't see one comment. Now people are trying to think about it. I didn't see one comment saying, "Where's the band?"
We hate it.
No one mentioned. And I love that. I thought that was so interesting, and it was so fun for us to watch because it feels like we don't need to be there. And I think that that's something that bands need to recognize, that you have someone creating something extremely creative, then it just complements the song in the end.
Well, I think the world in terms of music videos and kind of content is really changing because, you know, that word content is a bit of a grey area, I know, but I think it's changing because music videos, I'm not really interested in making music videos where, well, sometimes you've got to bend, you've got to do stuff that maybe are more conventional, but I'm interested in exploring more of the kind of ideas that are more filmic, and that get people thinking and get the return views. That's a big thing for me. It's like get people going back, get them looking at the imagery, get them connecting with it, and kind of drawing their own conclusions. And you know, you want people to leave a music video and do what they do when they leave the cinema and watch an amazing film, which is like they get in the car and they have a chat, and you're like, what did you think of this? You know, like that's the last film I saw that was like that was The Lighthouse. You get in the car and you're talking about it, and you're like, what is this? You know, and that's kind of what I want to try and do with my music video stuff, because there's some easier answers in it, but there's also some hidden meanings, and that's what a lot of my team work with, especially Lee Evans, who's my art director. He's kind of works with me on that stuff as well. So I think, you know, making good music videos and trying not to repeat the same old hat, which, you know, there's a lot of videos out there. It's hard, but I think our creative team on these last two videos has been one of my favorite ever, because I think everyone is, you know, like I said to you in emails, Matt, a few times, or well, everyone, there's been people who've said something like, especially Ashley, and I've been like, I was literally just thinking that. You know, that's a kind of a cliche thing. I was just thinking that.
That's a good thing. Great minds. Great minds.
It's a great minds thing. So you know, and I feel like that there's no extra bravado required, which it can be hard. You know, I'm sure anyone, music industry or film industry, will say there's a lot of egos, and it's like you already have enough pressure to like create and make things. So like everyone in this team is just super respectful. They want an amazing product at the end of it. Product, maybe not the right word. Film, music video. Yeah, that aids it. You know, everyone is an integral part.
It's amazing. It's what's so cool. There are a couple things that came to mind when we were talking about that. I love the Easter eggs that you put in the video. I remember when we were watching Catastrophist, Ashley and I were like, "Man, I love that you show the gold watches on the first." The snatcher guys, or whatever you want to call those guys, the rope guys. I thought that was so interesting. You really see that, you're like, oh, so is this guy, like, what's the background in this person? And I think that's so cool that you have these little Easter eggs there. I know you and I have discussed the idea of those things in film. Another thing, I was doing an interview with Rock Hard in Germany, and he told me that Catastrophe Video was the most terrifying video he'd ever seen ever. And I was like, that's really interesting. I was like, why is that? And he's like, he's like, the scene where you guys are all laughing when the lead protagonist is in the most struggle, when her hair gets ripped out in the barbed wire thing. He's like, he felt like he was just terrified at that point. And I loved that because he felt that was representative of the world as a whole. And I love that this is giving people more of a thoughts of just, here's a bunch of dudes playing with stuff happening. Instead, it's making them think about their own lives and the world. Dude, that's a sick flame dragon shirt he's wearing, bro. But instead, they're thinking of like, what does this mean in life right now? And that is the most important style of art possible. And that's something you don't really see in music videos. And the only other band that really ever makes me think that deeply is Rammstein. And I've always thought of them as my heroes for videos.
So good.
Keep it clean, bro. I thought you were gonna drop that like so perfectly there.
Listen, I know you guys have had your differences with them, but when I was 12 years old, and I was on the couch, I pointed at the TV, I said, "That's what I'm gonna do when I grow up."
This wouldn't last.
That's what I want to do when I grow up. And I've been telling everybody it was one band, but the truth of the matter is, it was Trapped. And from that moment when I was 12, I knew I wanted to be the kind of band that Trapped was.
God.
And Headliner is just being headstrong.
Yeah, that one song. It's in a surf
one.
DVD I've got, so that's where I remember it.
Oh my God. Well,
I was saying something wonderful. This is what happens when all Trivium gets able to talk about.
I mean, you were setting it up. I was like, if you're gonna drop that, it's gonna be perfect, like this heartfelt, like legit thing. I thought you were gonna drop it there, so I had to bring it up. No, but well, like you were saying with like the Rammstein type stuff. I mean, of course, they're just like on such a whole another level, but like it really it takes their music to a whole thing. It gives it like the whole vision, and that's like a tricky thing, obviously, because you know, as you're trying to develop your sound, I mean, it's hard enough to just come up with like your own sound and perfect that, but then you know, getting that next level of like what your live show is going to be, what your video is. And I feel like what we've learned is like you find people that are really great at their craft, and you let them kind of take what you've made and just run with it and develop it more. And like, you know, seeing the videos now, I'm like, wow, like, you know, these lyrics are hitting even differently now, seeing it with visuals and seeing it with like your interpretation of things. And it's like it builds the world, and it even affects like how we want to like develop our live show around that. And that's
amazing,
been a real
man.
cool thing.
That's amazing, man. I mean, for me, it's like it's building something that I think people can take away and kind of they can extend it into their own worlds. Because when I was at film school, I wrote my dissertation on Lord of the Rings. I wrote my dissertation on it, but a big part of it, I had to look into loads of you know, the fan stuff where it wasn't really cosplay, but it's like they make their own stuff and they carry it on. So it's like extending, like if you can make a video, I feel that extends people and creates a conversation, then it's a good thing. And like that, like Matt was saying, those Easter eggs, like the gold watch and stuff, it was just like, I think Catastrophist, for me, when I was listening to it, I was kind of like feeling like at the time that, you know, a big question for me is like, where is the human race going in terms of entertainment? Like, where do people get their kicks on the internet? What are they thinking about? What are they watching? And with the video, it's kind of like basically, that's what we're asking. We wanted to make it familiar but we wanted to make it another world, so that was another big thing as well. So this is where we're kind of like, a lot of people are talking about Black Mirror and that kind of stuff, and obviously Charlie Brooker is a big influence on me, but also John Glazer, the director, is a massive influence to me. He did a film called Under the Skin, and he did this particular short recently, which I actually sent to you guys. If you remember, it's called The Fall.
That was
and if you're
horrifying.
Yeah, if you're in the States, you can actually, if you're in the UK, it's on iPlayer, and if you're in the States, there's actually a website for it. But it's his kind of take on mob mentality, and I read a Garden article. It's about Nazism in the world, and the short is so terrifying. It says so much with so little that I kind of felt really inspired that, you know, there's a common denominator in it, which is both our video and his video has a rope in it, obviously, but with mine, it's kind of like, I was thinking about a way that we could kind of look at the way, like I said, entertainment is going, and that's what the video is. It's like it's like a world where there's, you know, people are watching this random person have to go through this course and they get their kicks. It's like gladiatorial, it's like Rome kind of style where people are watching for the demise of someone, and that's where we've got this strong character. But just a quick point on the gold watches, because we put that in there because I was talking to Lee Evans, my art director, about it, and I was like, you know, we don't see the men in the masks, we don't know what they are, but we want to, you know, we want to open it up to maybe not thinking that these are like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre guys. You know, it's more like these are maybe rich people that are able to join in the game, or maybe they're kind of, you know, maybe that gold watch is a prize that someone's watched. Like, it gets you thinking and creating that conversation about what is going on. And, you know, again, it's just another one of those Easter eggs that we kind of layered in. But I'm super proud of it. Video.
It's amazing, yeah. I feel like that's what's so great about what you've done with these videos, because we've tried to do this before, and I feel like in ways we did well because it was like a happy accident of what we did. But Built to Fall, the issues, if I were to be like, it's a cool video, but if I were to be super scrutinous versus catastrophist and what the Dead Men say, we gave away too many details, and that's one of the things Paulo pointed out really great to me. He's like, yeah, you know, you see, I find this thing, and then because I found like piece of clothing, I was like, I need to look for this guy. It was too many handing the viewer exactly what's going on. Whereas with that, we just kept thinking about it.
It's like you only have so much time to tell a story, and you know, it's the same problem with writing lyrics. Like, you know, you only have, you know, a couple minutes to get every idea in the world into this song, and then it's like you gotta leave certain things out. You can't tell everything. You gotta decide what the listener is going to have, you know, to come up with their own story. And I think it's kind of the same with the video. It's like you give enough to like build this world out, but you don't like, you know, you don't have a movie length feature to kind of like really tease everything out and introduce every character's backstory and stuff like that.
It's good practice. It's the best form of, if there's any filmmakers watching, it's the best form of practicing making narrative and building narrative within a short space of time, because you don't have that luxury that you're talking about. Basically, you kind of have to be really, I mean, for me in edits and stuff, it's like you lay out your original story and you see what's there, and then it's kind of a matter of getting the scalpel out and just, no, we don't need that, we don't need that. And it's kind of, you end up being quite real with yourself, especially in the final product, which it's good. It's just like a good way to kind of practice narrative telling, and that's the way that my videos and my team, we've gone towards that, because, well, that's where we want to go. We want to do that kind of stuff. And you know, I still love doing documentary. We still direct live shows every now and then, but the narrative stuff, I feel like it's such a gift to get given a budget to make basically a short film. So I welcome bands that, like yourself, that they want to maybe think a little bit differently outside the box in terms of what they want to say and do. But I mean, you guys bring, you know, the band brings a song, I bring the idea, and then I have a structure, and the rest of my guys come in, like Hugo, my set designer, and Lee Evans, Hugo Colleen and Lee Evans, who's my art director. Those guys on Catastrophist, they really did outdo themselves, because I kind of sat them down. I was like, okay, we've got an endless road. We need to stop someone getting down it. They're being chased by two guys. give me what you think. And then like Lee and Hugo went away, and they're like, oh, what about this? And like, you know, the first thing, which is the hedgehog, we called it the hedgehog knot, which is the post with the spikes coming out. That was one that we kind of came up with. And the door, you know. And there was another one that we couldn't use because we actually ran out of time on the day, because we shot the video in between two massive storms, which was really quite interesting, in woods near me. So it was kind of like, we have to do this in a set amount of time. But they kind of brought to the table some amazing traps, like the bomb box.
I love that scene. I love how it pairs up with the music too, like right in the timing, like, and that opening. It's perfect.
Yeah, it was cool. Those kind of things. You know, those things don't exist without a team of people. Like, as much as I have very strong ideas as a director, and these things are important to me, I'm someone that I need the right people around me in order for the ideas to come to life properly. So there's, you know, my team facilitate that and make that happen, which I'm super grateful for them. So I know they're watching, so thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I want to talk about with everybody is how you and your team safely during a pandemic managed to make a video happen, which is insane. Like, they were showing us behind the scenes pictures, gloves, masks. They were finding the proper places. I mean,
should we do the first video? Should we watch the first video? Maybe get through that. And, and like do some commentary and whatever.
Are we mystery science theatering, or?
I mean,
Is it gonna go behind?
Yeah, I mean, we could do whatever. I mean, if everyone's got any.
I wonder if I have to run it online, or can Fred run it from here?
I got the little YouTube thing up on my screen, so I mean, I guess everyone can either follow along or listen to what we're gonna say about it. So
let me try and get the YouTube up right now.
But with everybody, so what I was just saying, when Ryan and his team was doing the videos for Dead Men, they were doing this during this whole shutdown, but they're doing it safely. They had the gear on it. I mean, the pictures are insane. So you guys all with the masks and the gloves, and you guys had to switch studios a couple times. One of the staff people ended up getting sick, and you guys had to like get away from them. So for you guys to go and make content for the world like that was, despite all that, was incredible.
Thanks, Steve. We'll definitely. Here's the video. It's up.
Where's it playing out of?
It's playing
on
YouTube. All right, so I'm watching YouTube now. This is those little cameras. I had 6 of them in my studio, and I was like, let's use these. This is what I want to do. And Lee took them away, sprayed them, put moss on them. Rimka, this was her first job back for a while because she just had a lovely little baby. So she just was our first choice for the role. She just had everything that we needed. And kind of Lee, I told Lee that we would stick her in boiler suits, and then kind of Lee came back with a load of different things about her outfit, you know, the belt, the lock, and all that kind of stuff. And then I just had this idea about the alarm clock hanging from a tree. It was one of my early things. Just this kind of like, because the idea behind this is just like a janky kind of hillbilly setup. The world is it's like public access TV basically, in a world where you can make money from, you can stream whatever you want. It's kind of like, I don't know if you took that film The Purge, and it's like anything goes, you know, you're just trying to get viewers and you're trying to sell stuff. So there's the hedgehog knot there as well. She's untangling that. I'm not sure what the lag is on this, but and then obviously the shots of you boys in the studio. We had my man Derek Sears come in. Derek, I hope I said your surname right. I'm sorry if I didn't. I always forget. Derek Sears came in and handled the shoot on your end. He killed it. Kind of said everyone in the band just, you know, it's kind of like we had this performance angle, and then it's like, oh, let's put them on let's have them watching this on a TV, which just tied in perfectly. I love that, Matt, when you're on the back of the chair squeezing the cushion. I love that bit. I thought it was such a great moment in the video, kind of showing that kind of, you know, like you're gripping, you're on the edge of your seat, gripping into the chair kind of thing.
It's amazing. Just like with this all being shot separated too, I think that's something that people didn't realize. Like all the stuff was shot in Orlando, and all the movie stuff was shot in your hometown, right?
So this is shot down the road from me in a place called Woods, which is near a couple of spots I used to surf at, and yeah, I kind of knew that we kind of already knew, because we shot backwards my Lovecraft film, parts of it in the woods, so we had our connections with various authorities to kind of go cleared and sorted. So I just knew that the trees, it's a spooky place as well. The trees have a certain vibe, and I know that during the start we were really talking about, Robert Eggers, The Witch, and the colour schemes and that. That place has got similar vibes because, The Witch is meant to be set in Massachusetts. My Lovecraft film is meant to be set in Massachusetts. We know for a fact from people from the States who've watched the Lovecraft film that they thought it was Massachusetts, which was pretty sick. So we knew that we could get away with, getting the same vibe. But yeah, the TV was one that I think Derek found that TV on eBay and picked up from some old dude. He was like, "Take good care of it." And
I think he was telling us the stories, like the guy that, like the guy that has these props in like Atlanta or something, and he literally has like hundreds of these like old TVs and old like appliances, and he like rents them out to all these shows like Stranger Things, and I think that TV might have actually even been one of the props or something they used, so it was pretty wild. Yeah, it was something
didn't even know
weird
that.
like that. Yeah, he was telling us all about that.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely like for our experience, probably over to like Alex and Gloria a little bit, but like
everyone's saying they want to hear those two talk.
Yeah, well, like we never had like we've never done like this experience where it's like there was two things going on at once. We didn't even know what was happening on your end, and I mean you had a little bit of information coming about what
we were shooting the same day, weren't we? It was like
we never had
shooting, and then we finished. So I went back to the studio and we unloaded, and I went to like a live stream to see how the shoot was going.
I mean, Corey, we've done all these videos all this time. I mean, what was kind of your feeling? Like, what was the difference with shooting it like this, as opposed to like when we had to kind of put it all into one day? We literally split it across 2 continents and time zones, and it's crazy.
It was super easy. It went by super fast. So, it was awesome. It was cool because when we were doing our stuff, the director was showing us like screenshots and whatever from what you were doing over in the UK. So it was kind of cool to see that stuff come together while we were doing our stuff. So, but overall, it was like our stuff in the video was so minimal that it just was the fastest probably video that we've had to shoot. Like, for the band, our end.
That's good.
Super seamless.
Good to know. I like that. Those are like the bonus points I like to hear at the end of the shoot. It's like, all shoots out, you run into problems, you got stuff. It's like to hear that. It's pretty great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It was hard for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I'm sure everyone does. Everyone uses it.
Yeah, it went so well. What was so hard for us, like I just saw on the couch. Anytime the 4 of us in a room together, we're supposed to do something serious. It always ends up being really hilarious. Obviously, like we saw each other, and the first thing we're doing is making jokes. But man, the first couple scenes where the director, like our director in Orlando, was telling us to act upset or be intense or start yelling. There was one part. What did I say?
I think I saw
like,
this.
I yelled at the TV. I was like, "The fuck is this shit?" And then everyone just starts cracking up.
We should get that like clip.
Dude, it was so good. Like we're all start crying, laughing, man. That's what happens every single time.
I mean, that was like an authentic like laugh from everyone too.
Yeah, because like I was trying to be serious, and then just everyone.
I think there was also another scene where Alex tried to get all pissed and throw popcorn at the TV screen.
One of the scenes where Alex got pissed though, like I actually got scared. That was like legitimate. That laughing that was real. Because we were saying something stupid.
Alex, you should talk about it.
I just started singing Headstrong, and then they all started laughing.
Alex, you should talk about how, when you have to, like, play the drums, like, one of the things that's always funny on music videos is, like, when you're having to play your drum parts, with, like, and the struggle of getting the music loud enough to actually play, because, like, you want to, like, sell the part and, like, play it, like, legit and heavy, but you're having to, like, struggle to listen, like, what is that like for you when you're trying to, like, match him?
Yeah, it's always a struggle with every music video that I've ever done. It's always like the director, usually because, they don't really understand how loud the drums really are. So they'll get like a little speaker like this big and be like, hey,
Oh, yeah, dude.
work. And I'm like, We made it work though. I mean, you know, the director, you know, was easy to work with. So it was just like whatever we got to do to make this work. If you need it closer, we'll figure something out. And eventually, we were able to at least pull it off. But it did take a couple takes, you know, of me just constantly saying it needs to be. I can't.
The story of drums. It needs to be louder.
You had to keep moving the speaker, so eventually it was like right up your ass.
The speaker.
Yeah,
Me.
no problem.
The end, we kind of skipped over because we're talking about funny stuff, but the end of the video I love so much that it like presents that choice. For the,
Yeah.
This shows everybody like our intense concentration issues that we all have. But I love that you don't see what the decision is in the end. I think that's so important because it leaves that open.
Yeah, I mean, we did. I'll tell everyone. I'm not telling you what we did shoot. We did shoot an ending, but I know because it was as a backup, and it was kind of actually it was an idea that Lee had for a shot because Lee Evans, my art director, is also a cinematographer, which is super useful. Dogs. Pat that dog. Yeah, he's also a cinematographer, which makes it we have a really good dynamic, working dynamic on the top tier. The top tier being like the director, the art director, and you know, if you have a DP or cinematographer, but it helps. And he had an idea for a shot, but I know that we discussed it, didn't we, Matt? And that I had mentioned that earlier in the shoot, earlier before we'd shot, like David Fincher's The Game. You know, and there's that ending in David Fincher's The Game, which is one of my favourite endings ever because he does exactly what we did. It's like if you haven't watched that film, check it out. I believe it's on Netflix, so you got plenty of time, everybody, to watch it. But there's an ending, and you're like, did he? Didn't he? Like, and it's not even really about. It's like a subplot to the film, but I love that it's left on that. And I know that someone tweeted at me yesterday and said, "Oh, I'm disappointed because I hope that video 2 is going to reveal what happened to video 1." And I was like, "Nah, that's a bit too predictable for our camp. We want to keep you guys guessing and talking, and you know, we'll move on to the next one, and who knows what happens after that, you know." So yeah, I kind of leaving that open ending was a good one. Really
These photos are beautiful, man. This would be like an amazing photo book.
It's my buddy Tom Young, who's he's a good friend of mine, known him for a long time, and a very talented photographer who he's been doing on BTS. Because I hate this phrase, but BTS is important because of moments like this, or if you want to discuss like. You know, if you want to discuss different things about the way the shoot went and projects too, because you have a way to show people that you, how as people will see in a moment. But yeah, this video was a joy. I mean, it was a joy, even though we were shooting Storm.
I can't wait until we do a video together in person.
In the same room.
We have to do that. That would be amazing.
We just or it should just have more. It should just be more complex, and there should be shots on like every continent happening at once.
We might have to. Just keep.
You never say never.
The next video, we're going to need to hire a director in each of our neighborhoods to make sure we stay contained.
They're going to have to be 6 feet away from everyone on the set.
We'd be able to get back to normal life if people would stop butt chugging human centipede style Miller Lights on the beach of Florida. Yeah.
It's really just Florida.
And the UK though. I've seen a lot of chip shop lines, man.
Oh my god, man. Well, my parents own a chip shop, and they shut theirs because they're responsible human beings. So they
were they able to do like takeaway or something like that? Cause like, oh shoot, I guess that's what the people are queuing up.
Yeah, I mean they do only do takeaway, but they you know they care about their staff and they care about their customers. So they close down, which I'm glad because they're safe.
Yeah,
you know. But it's like a lot of people are not taking this seriously, and it's really it's frustrating. Not to get into a talk on COVID-19, but it's frustrating for me because
we're doing the right thing. We're doing our homework, and everyone else is just like, "Meh, it's not my problem." They're just indoors. They're just going. That's what they're thinking right now.
Yeah.
Should we get a couple of questions in from the chat here?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some Corey and Alex questions. Let's get some Corey and Alex questions.
Yeah, about like
now Fred's gonna have to get all the copyright releases for every time I've done that. They're gonna say no to it. We're just gonna ask.
No, they're on one.
Let's do a split album.
Let's just re-record the first record.
I made like a heavy version. can see the YouTube live. By the way. I can see it.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
any
bad.
any questions about the video, the process,
Or
anything? Yeah, anything that we did in the video, if you want to know about, just start asking. I don't know who's going to be the question person here, but we'll see.
He's disappeared. He's back.
Matt, are you
Still
doing
there.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll host it. All right, you guys, give me some questions for anybody about anything, about the video.
Yeah,
to
let's
Ryan.
try to keep it on the video.
Okay.
I would like to know more.
Yeah, if I open up to anything, it's gonna get.
Yeah, we're gonna get way
Just-
off topic.
I gotta just grab something so I'll get a shot. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice. He's in space now.
Right.
Okay, give me questions. How do you pronounce Corey's last name? Corey.
Here.
Say it again.
Bullier.
I think it's Bulliu. He says Bullier, so I guess it's user's choice.
That's
There you
how
go.
I grew up saying it. So.
How many amps does Corey have? That's a good question. That's from the engineer of my channel, Freezing Cathedral. How many amps does Corey have?
13 with 14 on the way.
Damn.
Wow.
Wait, 14 more amps on the way, or number 14?
Number 14.
Okay.
I'm like, geez, we might have to have an intervention.
Yeah.
Today on
I can't
Amp
stop
Hours.
using reverb.
Reaper better start paying you. All right, give me some questions, everybody. Let's go. For anybody on this screen.
Video,
Maybe, preferably not me.
film questions.
How long did it take you guys to film Catastrophist? That's for Ryan.
So Catastrophist was, I think, well, basically it's 1 day for us and 1 day for you guys. So if you were 2 days total, but kind of happening at the same time, an A team and a B team, not B team not being any less than the A team, which I mean 2 teams. So 2 days total.
Damn. We all worked efficiently. The record took us 16 days. That's it. So like this is all like super efficient workers here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
video, man. If we're doing this during this, if the Human Centipede Miller Lite lines continue, we're gonna have to find a director in every single town.
I'm already talking. I've already got my spies out.
We need Modesto, Chicago, and Orlando.
You need to stop looking in toilet seats.
Yeah. Well, at least they're
dude.
getting one. At least they're getting one. Why? Like, why? That's why
What's
we
wrong
make the
with
music we make.
You're gonna have
Because
to bike down to Orlando. Ride a bike down
28 days later.
Yeah.
the road.
So,
Or Idiocracy.
What do we got? What do we got here?
All right, questions, go. Since you guys always like your music to be up for interpretation, how do you personally interpret the newest music? Does everyone interpret the same, or do you each have your own interpretations? I'll answer that first. Paulo, as a lot of you know, has been writing about, let's say, 75 to 85% of the lyrics and the melodies for the lyrics of the last 2 records. So it's been really cool for me. I feel like the relationship has been like a writer-director for Paulo and myself as the actor, and I've been able to come up with my own interpretations, and I've let Paulo know a lot of times, like, this is what I saw in this song. And even he had different points of view from where he was coming from. So that kind of shows that there's no real right or wrong answer, but it depends on who the source you ask.
Yeah, I think kind of hitting back on what I said before, it's really just like you kind of have an idea in your head of like what you'd like the song to be about, and sometimes I think Catastrophist is a little bit broader of a message, and I think for a video it's perfect because there's so much to pick from with the lyrics that you can really run in any direction, and I love the whole kind of this like most dangerous game type concept with it. I think that was maybe the sharpest like metaphor for what like the song was trying to get at, like this sort of like humans competing for whatever reason, whether it's they enjoy causing others like suffering, or if it's just this weird thing this ritual that people just go through, and this is like how the world experiences I guess joy or whatever, and that it's like one of those things of like I don't think I could properly describe like what the video would have been like, because I think like I can do the lyric part of it, but like when it comes to like visually, it's like where do you go? It's like I feel like for me I would probably be more like a lot of people, it's like you start to like do the literal interpretations of things, and I like giving the video over to you, Ryan. It's like you could just run with it in any direction of what you thought would be the sharpest like way to like paint out the the song would be about.
Yeah, well, we had the idea that we could not do, which was a real shame. But I came to you guys with this other idea, which
Video 4, maybe? Video 4?
Yeah, maybe. Well, we had that idea, which we had to go and wrote the idea, which is writing an idea. I think it takes about a day to come up with the treatment, to come up with the idea, develop it, and present it, and send it over, and kind of send it over to the label. And they said to you guys, and you guys were like, "We're in, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay." So, conscious of how much time we had because it was it was limited to your average kind of video time, which is I would say a month maybe. We kind of went away and spoke to a prosthetics company who they do like Doctor Who and loads of other amazing stuff. Kind of gave them the idea with this really, I don't know if I want to give the idea away, but it's a really creepy idea. And it's heavily influenced, this idea, by there's a guy called Wayne Barlow who does a lot of like big movie art, and his stuff is so creepy. It's insane. It's like nightmarish. And I sent a couple bits through, and I was like, look, let's make this thing like in the style of Wayne Barlow's art. Do it that way. The prosthetics company came back to us, and we were like, okay, we do not have the budget for this because it was like
It's like walking into like a Ferrari dealership.
Yeah.
Take it for a test drive, and oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, and then we wrote the Catastrophist idea because I think I was super pumped that the second idea you guys loved it as much because I was like, it's a hard thing to take a song idea, build it, and then send it off, and then you kind of have to scratch that because of external reasons. So I had to go away and be like, right, erase that from my memory, rewrite Catastrophist. And I was like, also I was aware like we had lost maybe a week of time waiting for the prosthetics point to come back. So I was like, okay, now we have 3 weeks. What can we do? What's around me? And that's how Catastrophist was born, basically. And some feelings I was feeling about, things I'd seen in the media and the internet about the way, it's like people were, raised up and celebrated and then smashed down. And I was kind of like, that's what Catastrophist is. It's like, here you go. And it's like, okay, let's see you get out of this one. And it's kind of like that feeling in the video. So I was stoked we got that and made it. So.
I love it, man. I love it. I mean, that's what's making me think too. I mentioned you before. I mentioned you the other day we were on the stream.
Yeah.
Next time, once this stuff is behind us and we go to do a European tour, we have to get you out for a portion of it, the whole thing of it, film the whole thing, finally make a proper like. I don't even want to call it DVD because most kids don't even know what DVDs are anymore. Just a full show recording that we put online. Something like that. 'Cause that would be amazing. I don't know if everyone in the chat, so everybody, shout out your website. Link is at ryanmcfall.com or
if you want to check out my work personally, it's just ryanmcfall.com as a director. But the Crash Burn is really my production arm. It's where houses me and my company, which is my music industry arm. So Crash Burn Media is the other one. But realistically, if you want to keep up with my work and see my style, like I've got my Instagram and my Twitter, which is just at Ryan Crashburn.
That Slayer stuff is insane. The Slayer stuff is because normally I'm not like a fan of like live band form and stuff.
Yeah,
but that is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, working with that band has changed my life. It's changed my life. I grew up on that band. So,
it's so killer.
I'm just sad, and I'm stoked that that you guys were so keen to work next to me on this one, and yeah, I'm down to come on tour. Obviously, I still love as much as I do all this Black Mirror stuff and dark short stories. Like I do have quite a deep love for documentary as well. So
the Amity film is really killer that you did. I want to do something that long.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was insane.
I'm gonna play your reel on here as you talk about it.
We did that, and we did that in 4 days in Melbourne. It was just like it was the greatest thing ever, but also in terms of like film crew wise, because we had a full crew, and it's kind of like I'd go from filming on my own to working with the crew. So it truly was a moment where I was like, I'm into this. This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. So yeah, and then you guys come along. We're like, okay, we want to make some short film-esque things. I'm like, I'm the luckiest man alive. That's
awesome. I've got your reel playing right now on my stream, and
thank you,
dude, this stuff just looks so good.
Yeah, and there's
I want to do the full movie thing with like you do with Amity. It's like my favorite music video of all time is Ich Will by Rammstein. The bank robbery video.
Dude, I know I love that band.
Dude, and I want to do something where the four of us are the lead characters in this thing.
You gotta do like a Kiss, was it Phantom in the Park?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Something like that.
Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like obviously getting to work with Deftones. That's another amazing thing for me as well. It's a cool thing. But there's some cool stuff in this reel. Yeah, some Amity stuff there. But yeah, we should definitely do. Yeah, I'm always down to do film stuff.
What were a couple like directors like that kind of inspired you to want to start doing this?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones for me is really John Glazer. I mean, as a kid, I would say that Tony Scott was a massive one for me because I kind of grew up on his films like as a young kid, like Days of Thunder and like all those kind of things. When you're younger and you kind of you're in that zone of everything you watch is controlled by an adult. But there's this Saturday evening.
Babe, I'm on mute, so you're okay.
Like, at home, like
Jade.
And my like nan would be looking after me because my parents would be working. I'd be watching like a Tony Scott film on the TV or something like that, and I kind of was like, I'm really into this. And then I remember, I think one of the most important films for me was the first Mission Impossible, strangely, because I watched it when it came out, Brian Palmer, and I was like, the way it was shot with so many of the angles, I was like, I don't know why I love this, but I love it. And then I kind of, as I got older, developed into, loving other things. Like David Finch is a massive kind of influence on me.
Did you start with music videos as well?
Yeah,
like
that's
a couple big ones.
Yeah. Oh, him and Glazer, David Fincher and John Glazer are both music video directors that did commercials and films, and like that's the kind of path that I always wanted to take. So, I think everyone in the UK, I mean, if you're my age, maybe, but there's a Guinness advert it's filmed in Hawaii, and there's horses in a wave, like just galloping, and like these surfers riding this wave. It's a very famous British commercial, and the first time I saw that, I was like, it just did something to me, and I kind of was like, I need to step into that world. So those two are big influences on me, and then as you kind of move forward and you get on and you start watching more stuff, you kind of get dragged into others. I'm looking at more kind of a few art house directors now and that kind of stuff. And just looking for, like you guys do with your music. Like Matt, I was watching your stream the other night, and you're going through the music that you love and stuff, and like you're talking about Death, and I was like, man, I love that band. Like they're one of my favorite bands. Like you're talking about those songs, and I was like, do you know what I mean? Like you have those things and those bits of work that really drive you and inform you and push you. And I'm like, I wouldn't be as arrogant to say I want to be the next David Fincher. It's like I want to be my own director, but I want to go to that place. I want to do those things. So,
definitely, that's awesome. Yeah, that's the way I was trying to put everything that we do. I'm pretty sure the rest of my band is the same way, but I know that perfection is impossible, but I practice to be perfect. And I know,
say that.
Yeah, I know I'll never be as good as Bruce Dickinson and Freddie Mercury, but I work to be as good as them. And I know that everyone else in the band has that same concept of wanting to be the best for themselves, for the best version of what they can do in the world of themselves, which I think is definitely the way to do it.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. I think you just gotta. I always say to people, like, just keep a short list of influencers and keep their works and their stuff like close to you, and then use those things to guide you through different moments in your life. That's what I do. We all have highs and lows, and it's using those works to kind of make you get up. But I was listening to your stream. You're talking about the guy you had on your stream was talking about someone that if he doesn't practice every day, he loses his ability to play these songs.
I was interviewing Jared Dines yesterday when him and I were talking about Jason Richardson. Yeah, Richardson's one of the, like Aaron said, one of the top 10 greatest shredders I've tried. And this dude is,
Yeah.
he's got to be early 30s, I think, and he shreds everyone like